The design for the garden has been inspired by the East Village itself, the materials, the architecture, the views, the courtyards, and the history of the Lee Valley and the Stratford area itself. One of the key themes that Delancey wanted us to pick up on is this theme, design for living, which is really the contrast between the interesting architecture and large external spaces. We've picked up on various different materials, whether it's glass or steel or timber, and translated these through the structures that we've got in our garden. One of the structures that we've got in our garden is this timber balcony. It's got both a decked surface to the bottom of it, glass in front of it, and timber above the canopy, which references some of the balconies that you've got on the various different buildings. If you are standing on the balcony structure at the side of our garden, you'll be standing there in front of the glass balustrade, which will give you the premise of standing on a balcony looking out over the green space, just in the same way that you will be looking out over our garden at Chelsea. When we were down at Exbury, we saw the lifting of a plant that had been growing in its natural environment. The reason that we went down in February to lift them was that the plant was dormant. So you're not going to shock the plant when you cut its roots, and essentially you are then creating that body of nutrients for the plant to live in, and then when it's lifted in May, it's not going to shock it. At Deepdale, we were looking at our key shrubs and our key trees. These are plants that have predominantly been containerised. These are the big ticket numbers in our garden. They're going to anchor the design, they're going to anchor the garden, they're going to anchor the structures and provide a backdrop against which our herbaceous planting can be seen. At Kelways, we were looking at most of the herbaceous material. We bought and procured most of this plant material in October so that we could take a 3-litre pot and pot it up into a 5-litre or a 7.5 litre to ensure that actually when it comes to Chelsea we've got a very lush, bumper, healthy growing plant. Essentially, we wanted to give the impression when the public is looking at our garden that it is set in an urban environment. And I think by creating this abstract wall that we have, that is behind me as I sit here talking to you now, it could only be an urban environment. We've got a huge team that are working with us to create the garden at Chelsea. Everybody from the nurserymen to the fabricators to the guys who are painstakingly painting our urban wall. It's a real team effort, and I think that's something that I've been most struck by and I'm really enjoying. We very much hope that the garden will reflect the ethos of high quality design that Delancey have, the juxtaposition between the interesting architecture, the great external spaces, the urban and the green that they have, and the design for living theme.
I think the thing about the public realm on East Village is that there are quite large areas of public realm. The first things that we see are catkins on the trees, followed by blossom in a large number of the trees. The display early in the season from the trees is fabulous. Bulbs we've already seen, there'll be some more bulbs coming through, and then the wildflowers start to grow, and then by Chelsea time there'll be displays across the site.